but we're gonna go over homework as well. So some people says, can I go over certain question? Of course. Never be afraid to ask me question. One thing I actually like appreciate that you guys ask question. If you ask question, um you make yourself better. So hold on a second. Let me figure out a question. So wait, where's my question? Why is it lacking? Let me get there. It's lacking. So this is a I'm gonna show you this is their test on calculus. Same thing. This is actually a calculus test question. I'm sorry, it's not showing. Um, uh, Come on, word. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is the actual a test question from calculus, and this is almost same question as you guys. Um, and not only that, this is actual test question from calculus. Their algebra test that everybody fail. Um, so this is actual exact same question as what you guys do. You don't have these two questions. You're gonna have this, but we're gonna talk about that. You're gonna have elimination. That's on the next test. So yeah, this is actually when I go over. I actually use the same file to go over stuff. But yeah, a lot of those questions are on it. So if you prepare now, you should prepare for the next year. Um, Now we're gonna go to the homework. See if I can find it. I cannot find it. Oh well. Let me see if I can find it here. Where is that? It's here, maybe. This app's lagging. Okay, it's right here. Okay, which question want me to go over? Somebody raise hand. Yes. One, sure. Okay, so one just split up all the things. So that's gonna be first job, and this is the exact same question that you're gonna get next year. Not exactly the same idea. Y to the negative 4 minus ax to the 4 y to the square over 4x to the negative 2 y to the negative 4. This is a minus 2x to the 4th y to the negative 2 over 4x to the negative 2 y to the negative 4. Do you understand that? You split all of them, then just do a simplify. So it'll be 3 over 2. 4 minus negative 2 is going to be x to the 6. Y, negative 2 minus negative 4 is going to be 2. Are we okay here? So far, are you okay? Do you understand? Minus 2x to the 6, y to the 6, I think. Minus 1 over 2, x to the 6, and y to the 2. And that's it. Yes. 3, sure. 3 is using Pascal triangle. Now, the thing is about this one is I didn't teach you because what happened was a negative sign in the middle. Okay, yes.
Could you simplify the 3 over 2x to the power 6 y2 like and subtract it by 1 half x to the power 6 and y to the power 2? Because they have the same like exponent, or can you just do it?
You just leave it like that. This is a perfect form. Yeah, this is just, you don't need to combine, you don't need to do anything. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're right, you're right. So since they are the same, oh yeah, they're right, you're right. So it's gonna give you negative 1 half x to the 6, y to the 6. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I got x to the power 6, y to the power 2 minus 2x to the power 6.
Oh, because no, hold on a second. They have different power. Okay, if they have different power, you cannot add and subtract. I'm so sorry. This is be a perfect answer right here, because they have different power. So this is 6. This is 6. This is square. This is square. So they are not like term. If not, the analytic term, we cannot add them together.
The first one.
First one and last one?
And they're both divided by.
Yes, they are. Thank you for addressing that. That's actually very good. So yeah, this is a better answer. Very nice job, by the way. Okay, Pascal triangle. 3x minus 2 to the fourth power. So 3x minus 2 to the fourth power. Now write down Pascal triangle. Now Pascal triangle can also use in statistic. We're going to talk about a little bit about that today if I have some time. Like the probability if you had 3 kids and they all have girls. What is the probability to have that happening? All 3 kids are girls. Do you guys know probability? Well, yes. Yes, really good. And how about 2 boys and 1 girl? Yes. Go ahead.
12.5%.
What?
12.5%.
No. But that's a good start. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that in a second. But right now we're gonna build out so we're gonna build out like that. So I'm gonna talk about Pascal triangle in a second. Pascal triangle, there's a video I want you to watch. I'll post a link. It's very interesting math phenomena. Pascal, he gets a credit, but there are people ahead of him that invent knowing the idea of Pascal triangle. He get a credit because he's white, I think. I don't know. Just theory. Just kidding. But there are Chinese people. There was people from Persia. There was people from everywhere in the world. They all kind of talk about Pascal triangle before he talked about it. So, and you will see in that video, like they also call it Sierpinski triangle. They also talk about a lot of things. So there's a lot of math theory behind it. No, I was kidding about white people. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take this. And you're gonna say 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, like this. And you're gonna say a equal to 3x and b is equal to -2. So b could be negative, but when you have a negative, it will cause the sign to alternate, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. And I'm gonna show you what happened with that. So remember, you're gonna have a, so we're gonna say a usually is a to the fourth power, so it'll be 3x to the fourth power and the -2 to the 0 power. Is that okay? And this is gonna be 3x to the third power, -2 to the first. Is that okay? And that's gonna be 3x, of course, the power is going down, decreasing, to the second power, -2 to the first. One's gonna go up, one's gonna go down. Plus 3x to the first, -2 to the third. Plus -2 to the fourth power times 3x to the 0 power. I changed the order, sorry. But anything to the 0 power is 1. So I can actually simplify this. So -2 to the 0 power is 1. So therefore it's going to be 81x to the fourth. Does that make sense? Because 3 to the fourth power, x to the fourth power. Plus, now actually this one's going to be minus because -2 to the first power, that's going to give you a negative sign. The sign usually alternate between positive and negative. So that's going to give you a negative sign. 3 to the 3 is 27. 27 times 4 is 108 and 216. So it'll be 216x to the third. See that power? 4 and this x to the third for the next one. Now I'm going to plus here. Since the -2 to the -2 power is 4, 4 times 9 times 6. So 4 times 9 times 6. What is that? That's also 216 x squared, but this one's going to be positive. Next one's going to be negative because of negative to the power, so it's going to be -8 negative 8 times 3 times 4. So negative 8 times 3 times 4 is equal to 96. Is that right? 96x. And last one's negative 2 to the 4th power. It's going to be plus 16. And yes, that will be the answer. If you expand it normally, you're going to get the same answer. Except I feel like this is slightly quicker. Especially if you go to 5th power, this one's going to be for sure quicker. To the 3rd power, usually expand normally about same speed. To the 4th power, this one will be quicker. To the 5th power, for sure, 5th power is going to be quicker. So this is called binomial expansion. Now let's talk. Yes. Go ahead, Tanisha. Yes, but can I come back talk about binomial expansion also? Okay, 7. I'm gonna go back to 7. 7 is a great question. I put it on my calculus test. So I'm gonna go with 8 x to the negative 2 fifth minus, so minus 2 third minus 1 fifth. So I'm need to multiply by 3 over 3. This is 5 over 5 in order to subtract. So that is gonna be 15 to the negative 13. Is that okay? And the y to the negative 3 over 2 subtract negative 7 over 2. That end up to be, I believe it's 4 over 2 is square. Is that okay? And if that case, that's going to be negative 4 to the third. So be 8 to the negative 4 to the third. X to the, unfortunately, there's nothing can simplify. So it's going to be 52 over, I believe it's 52 over 45. Y to the negative 8 over 3. Is that okay? So x to the 52 over 45. 8 to the 4 third. What's 8 to the 4 third power? 16. And this is y to the 8 over 3. It's okay. I got you. Don't worry. Did you do homework?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you show me if you get a chance? So this will be the answer like this. You just have to be patient, simplify inside, and distribute. Because the pen does, yes.
8 over 8.
8, sure. What's your question?
Yeah.
Hey, okay. So for this particular question, it's just going to be 2 to the negative 2, x to the 4th, y to the negative 10. Is that okay? Is that okay so far? And that's going to be 9x to the negative 2, y to the 3. Now, this one's going to be x squared, y to the negative 7, and 2 to the negative 2 is going to be 1 over 4, and this is going to be 9. So it'll be 9 over 4, x squared, y to the 7. Any other questions? That's fine. I just show. I did a video on it, so you can look at it. The binomial expansion will be on the test. Exponent rule for sure be on the test. And my exponent rule is a little bit harsh because it has a fraction, because that's practicing adding and subtracting fraction and multiply fraction. So every time I write a test question, usually trying to combine different skill, because I need to build your skill from 4th grade. So I need to review, constant review all the 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade skill. So I put a lot of fraction there for you to actually work through those fractional power. It's not because I enjoy fraction. I don't enjoy fraction, but you guys need to know how to do it. So therefore, I'm going to give it to you. Other question? Okay, so let me give me some answers. So some people, we already have answer for the first one. Can you have an answer for the second one? Can somebody tell me an answer for the second one? It was probably ax to the q something.
60x squared.
60x squared?
Yes.
Okay.
Plus 150x.
Uh-huh.
Minus 125.
Okay. And we already have the answer for this one. This one's called a scientific notation. So it's 24 times 10 to the negative 11. But that's also 2.4 times 10 to the first times 10 to the negative 10. Because you cannot be between 1 to 10, so it'll be 2.4 times 10 to the negative 8. Is that okay? Or negative 9, sorry. Is that okay?
-10.
Oh, negative
Negative.
negative 11.
Negative 11, if you add 1 to it.
Oh, this is 11. My bad. Negative 10. Right? Is that okay? Okay, so this one is 2.5 times 10 to the what? Negative 7. Is that okay? What will be the answer for this one? What is it?
-39 over something.
Okay, good. And we go over all the questions. So let's go back to talk about binomial expansion. Now this one is not gonna put on the test, but just for future reference, if you ever study statistic, the probability to have, let's say if I have 3 kids. Now for me, I have 2 boys. I wish one of them was a girl, but no. Because my wife likes girl. I don't really care. I like whatever she likes. So, but the probability, right? Probability is very, very important in the future. So let's just say this just means, if you have, this is if you have 2 kids. And remember that this is just the way kind of think about it, this is a boy. This is 4 boys. If you have 4 boys, and this is 1 girl or 0 girls, and this is a boy to the 3 times girl to the 1. Does that make sense? So that power is going to represent this. So this one is going to be boy square and the girl square. So it'll be 2 boys, 2 girls. And this one's gonna be 1 boy and 3 girl. And last one is gonna be 4 girls, which does suck. Yeah, 4 girls. That's gonna be hectic. I don't want to have 4 girls. That's crazy. No offense to girls, but 4 girls together, that's a disaster waiting to happen. But 4 boys is probably just as bad. So let's just say I wanted to have a situation where I have 1 boy and 3 girls. How do I find out? So obviously this is 1, and this is 4, and this is 6, and this is 4, and this is 1. So that means if I want to have this, it's basically 4 out of how many? So 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 1. So it's gonna be 16. So that's gonna be 1 out of 4 chance, which is 25%. 25% chance that you can have 1 boy and 3 girls. Basically, this 4 represents the 4 possibilities out of the total possibility. So you're just gonna add up everything, and you can figure out what the chance. So if you study like probability very well, it's gonna give you a very good chance. Like if you understand, like for me, I'm live streaming. I'm not promoting gambling. But it'll be really good. Like when you playing like poker, you know the odds of the chance you draw a nice card is gonna be a heart, right? Those are the things that you're gonna be very, very good at using probability. A lot of time business decision is based on probability as well. So you have to understand probability is actually probably more important than calculus. So if you ever want to take a class like want to go into deeper about statistic, I think this is gonna go into talk about like statistic. I don't know if you ever seen the movie 21. Anybody see the movie 21? You did? Yeah, it's the kid that went to MIT and he got recruited as the professor recruited him to be part of a gambling a group, and then just go to casino win all the money. Basically, they understand the odds, the probability of to have 3 boys, 1 girls, or have 2 boys, 3 girls, whatever. They understand that up very, very well. They can calculate in their head and they can actually analyze the situation. But I'm not going to talk about that because this is just a pre-calc class. It's not stats class. But Pascal triangle, I'm gonna send you a video. They will kind of describe of all the things can possible. Also, it has Sierpinski triangle is talking about factors. I don't know if I pronounced right. So there's a lot of different things. I'll send a link on there, and that way you guys can look at it. But anyway, that's the probability situation. Now let's talk about factoring. For me, all you guys need to know how to factor something. We haven't talked about solving equations. So the first section, the first test is basically deal with all expressions. Can you do exponent rule? Can you simplify scientific notation? Can you plug in a value? Can you evaluate something? But we didn't talk about any solving equation yet. One of the things I need to be able to do is called factoring. So today we're going to talk about factoring. And you guys already learned factoring, so it should be fast. But the factoring, first thing is called GCF factoring. So for example, 6x minus 12, you can factor out what? 6. So then it's going to be 6x minus 2, because 6x, if you're going to get 6x, 6 times negative 2 is going to give you negative 12. So it's going to be 6x minus 2. Also, something that you need to know, pretty important for me in the future, a lot of times you want to factor out a leading coefficient that's negative. Now, your teacher might not talk about this a lot, but if you have this, like this, what is the GCF here? What is it? Negative 3x. So you want to make sure, the reason why it's negative 3x because they both have 3 and 12. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12. So this one has 3, this one has 3. But they both have x, so I can factor out 3x. But not only that, make sure negative 3x you want to factor out, because if your first sign, that the highest coefficient has a negative sign, usually factor out to make your life easier. Is that okay? So that's going to give you x minus 4. Okay, so that's GCF factor. Every factoring must go through a GCF factor. It has to. Okay, it has to go GCF factor, because a lot of times you can factor something. And now, after you did that, first thing that you're gonna do was if you have a trinomial. Trinomial is like something like x squared minus x minus 6. How many of you guys know how to factor this? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, it's not enough, but that's okay. So out of 6 of you guys raised hand, how many of you guys know how to factor this? Out of 6 of you guys raise your hand, say I know how to factor, but I can factor 18x squared minus 9x minus 2. You can? You want to give it a try?
Wait. I think never. No.
Ben?
You should multiply 18 since the first coefficient is 1. Multiply it times negative 2.
What is it?
And then make it negative 36.
So tell me what's the factor. Just work on your paper and tell me what's your factor. If you can factor this, that means be pretty powerful, but I give factoring question that's usually, it's pretty hard to factor. So you need to have I'm going to show you a systematic way to do it. Huh? Never mind. Okay. That's okay. So I'm going to teach you a new way to do it. This is called a box method. So in my calculus class, there was a girl named Neil. Anybody know Neil Robinson? Play baseball, Nelly? Okay, Nelly, yeah. Nelly, Remy Robinson. Like, I give him factor questions, like, Mr. Yi, I know how to factor, right? And so she usually score 100 on the test. But that day, she had a really bad day. So she didn't know how to factor that. So she ended up using quadratic formula. and take her forever, and she got a wrong answer. And I laugh at her because she's really, really, really smart girl. She's not only a little bit smart, she's very smart. She's on my math team. So I'm trying to say is we can create a systematic way anybody can do it rather than just only one person can do it. So I'm going to show you a systematic way to factor something that's going to be way faster and much more efficient. So it's called a box method for me. You draw two lines and you put first and last term inside the two line and the middle term is outside. So this is the first thing that you have to do. First, last, middle. Anybody a middle child? Raise your hand if you're a middle child. Sucks to be you, right? Yeah. Middle child is the worst position to be in. So imagine that this is a house. Like middle child is left outside the house. You're gonna be fending yourself, right? So good luck. So what happened is you're gonna multiply first two term and to get the first term. So I'm gonna write down the first term, 18x squared minus 2 and minus 9x, also including the sign as well. So I'm gonna write down two lines here, I'm gonna write down two lines here. Now for me, I'm gonna teach you a trick. A trick is very, very important tricks. So 18, right? 18 has a factor of 1 times 18, or 2 times 9, or 3 times 6. Now here's the thing. The trick is always a number that's closest to each other, it should be your first try. Because 70% of the time that you're gonna get 3 times 6. Only 20% of the time that's evil to do 2 times 9. And there is only 10% of the time that you're gonna get this. So if you want to bet money on it, you want to bet 70% first. That's why something you should do. So I'm gonna bet 3 times 6 here. So I'm gonna do 3x and 6x because x times x equal to x squared. 3 times 6 is equal to 18. Is that okay? Now I'm gonna think about two numbers multiply each other. It's gonna give me -2. However, there's one combination is wrong, one combination is right. So you say, well, let's figure out. I'm gonna pretend that this is the right way to do it. So I'm gonna say -2 and 1 here. I'm gonna do 2 and 1, but it's wrong by the way, so don't write it down. 6x and 6x. Now you're gonna say, well, what happened with this? Are they multiplying? No, this part is adding. So this part is adding those two, and to get this. So if you add it, does not give you -9x, that means something you did wrong. So let's try it again. 2, 1, that's 6x and 6x. Does 6x plus 6x equal to 9x? No. So that means my combination is off. So I'm going to do 1 and 2. So that's going to be 3x and 12x. Now it's 3x plus 12x equal to -9x? No, right? But however, if you look at this as a -2, that means one of them need to be negative. Which one need to be negative? 2. Why is 2 negative? Because if you have 3x minus 12x, that's going to give you -9x. Now, lastly, this is called box method. So you pair diagonally this and this. So 3x minus 2 and the 6x plus 1. And just factor one of the very difficult questions. Now, sometimes they can be both negative as well. So for example, this is 2. They can be both negative. So you have to think about it, positive and negative. You want to think about those situations. With that being said, let's try one. Let me figure out a factoring questions here and see if you guys. So Nelly, she got this question wrong. So 5x squared plus 29x minus 42. And she factored this question wrong. But she never makes those mistakes. She does her way, factor by grouping. She does awesome. She never mess up. This is the first time she messed up for a while. And the whole year I seen her never mess up. She messed up on this particular question. Let's see if you can do better than Nelly. So I want you to factor this properly. Now make sure you use it the way I try to teach you. It will help you a lot. Now you have to try different things. Sometimes you have to switch your number a little bit and to figure out how it works. First, last, middle. First of all, write down the term. First, last, middle. You want to multiply the first column to be 18x squared. You multiply 2 to get a second column. You want to add the last part. Okay, add the last part. Now, this is a very, very good method because it will be very easy for the harder questions. Easier question, you almost don't have to do this. For the hard question, maybe have a systematic way to do something. It's very good. Now you gotta double check everything outside the box, make sure it makes sense. Now you can pair diagonally. Draw diagonally is box method, so X. So you pair diagonally. And you can double check your answer by multiply back as well. How many of you guys got it already? Oh, that's really quick. Okay, good. Is that easier? Now this is more visual. I remember one girl I have like about 8 years ago. Her name is Jasmine. Jasmine hates math. And that's one test she passed with an A. She didn't know how to multiply. Like she didn't multiply. She had hard time multiplying. But this is the one test that she did fairly well. Okay, so let me see if half of you guys got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7, 8. Okay, 8. How about the people did not get it? That doesn't add up. Jenny, Apple did not get it? Sorry, I got confused with you with
It's okay.
all Chinese people look the same. Don't worry, I make fun of all race. Don't feel left out. I'm gonna make fun of you. I think people just have to have fun. Stop being easily offended. By x squared. Did you guys do this? You guys do this? Okay. Which two thing multiplies gonna give you 5x squared? Yeah, 5x and 1x, right? That's only one combination, so there's nothing you can go wrong with that. There's only the things that can be the second thing can be. So 42 has a lot of combination. However, 1 times 42, 2 times 21, 3 times what? 14. Next one's 4, 5, 6. 6 times 7. Which one's better odd? 6 and 7. Okay, so where do I want to place 6 or 7 or 7 and 6? Which way you should do? 7, 6. Let's try. Let's do purposely do around 6 and 7. That's gonna give you 37. There's no way it's gonna add up to be 29. So I'm gonna do 7 and 6. So that's 35. Right? And 6x. Is that okay? Now which one need to be? This is a negative, right? Which one need to be negative? 6. So this is negative. And guess what? You just solved it. 5x minus 6 times x minus plus 7. Is that easy? Okay, so this is called box method. I'll give you some difficult ones, see if you guys can handle it, but let me give you another one. 49x squared plus 70 minus 70x, sorry, minus 70x plus 25. Yeah. Now normally if you do the AC method, do 49 times 25, this becomes a very huge number. So with this method, it will actually reduce the errors. Just make sure it's way faster when you're doing factoring. Olivia got it? Emily got it? Okay. Got it? Winston got it? Okay, if you got it, raise your hand. This time's way faster, right? So draw a two line again. 49x squared, 25. Is that okay? And then negative 70x. So obviously it's not 1 times 49 because that's not a first bet I want to bet my money on. So 7x times 7x. 5 times 5 is a good choice. Now the problem is this 35x and this 35x. That's not going to give you negative 70x. So what do? Make the bottom negative? Negative. So therefore it's 7x. This is called a perfect square trinomial, by the way. And this is 7x minus 5 times 7x minus 5. With that being said, that you also have to pay attention to GCF. So sometimes you're going to have to worry about GCF, but this time you don't have to worry about GCF. Is that okay? Yes.
Would this work for like power 3?
No, it doesn't work with power 3. By power 3, we're going to talk about it because we're also going to talk about that. But let's talk about binomial. Binomial is 2 term. So 2 term, right? So the most popular 2 term on SAT that you have to know for sure is called difference of a square. So it'll be a squared minus b squared. Does anybody know what the factor of a squared minus b squared is? Yes, you.
A plus b multiplied by a minus b.
A plus b times a minus b. Very, very important. There's only one I need you to memorize things is a squared minus b squared equal to a plus b times a minus b. For example, if I have 25x squared minus, I don't know, 4, something like that, and I say I want to factor this, if I want to factor this, I just need to figure out what, because you see this is a perfect square, and this is a perfect square. And this is called a difference of a square. So this is called, the name is called difference of square. Next time when people is talking, I need you to talk about difference of a square. Difference means subtracting sign. So this is a squared minus b squared. So you just have to figure out a is. If a squared is equal to 25x squared, b squared is equal to 4. What is a? 5x, and then b is equal to 2, right? So I just follow the formula. So it's going to be 5x minus 2 and then 5x plus 2. Does that make sense? You did this in algebra 2. Your teacher really emphasized this. Most people forget. But yes, this is something that's very important. Luckily, if you did forget this formula, box method can take for you. Surprisingly, box method will work with difference of a square. Right? So if I have 25x squared minus 4, and if you did not remember the formula, you can put first and last because there was a 0x right in the middle. So guess what? 5x, 2, 2. In order to get 0x, they have to subtract each other. So it'll be 5x minus 2 times 5x minus 2. Does that make sense? A box method can actually take care of difference of a square if you happen to forget difference of a square. But I'd rather you memorize the formula. The formula is going to look like this. And you're gonna tell other people, just difference of the square when you explain to somebody else. This formula is very, very important. So here's I want you to factor that's something kind of hard. But think about everything must go through the first step. Everything must go through the first step. Everybody must go to GCF factoring. So if you don't do GCF factoring, that means the answer is not exactly correct. You should always look for GCF. If you use GCF, you can factor out, you factor it. So I want you to factor this. I want you to factor 2x cubed minus 18x. And a lot of my calculus students got it wrong. So make sure you know what you're doing. Always go through that one first step. That's the one step you had to go through. What's that first step I'm saying? Somebody say it, GCF factoring. But after that, it's not done yet. You can factor more. How many guys finished? Very good. This means I can factor out a 2. What else I can factor out? X, right? This is the x times the x times the x. And this is the x, right? So guess what? They both have x. So we can factor out x. Now 2x times what equal to 2x cubed? X squared. Now 2x times what equal to 18x? Negative 9. Now do you see this is a difference with square? What is a square? Perfect square. 9 is a perfect square. X squared is a perfect square. So that means I just had to follow the formula. A squared equal to x squared. B squared is equal to 9. A must be equal to x. B must be equal to 3. So it'll be 2x times x plus 3 times x minus 3. Is that okay? It's not equal to 0. It's nothing to solve for. This is a factoring. Today's homework, I just want you to factor. Are we okay here? Next one. 10x cubed plus 4x squared minus 6x. I want you to factor this. So this is algebra 1. We're gonna spend probably a couple of days on algebra 1. And just review. I'm just going like fast course. I'm gonna spend a week. So what's the GCF here? 2x, because they all have x, right? And they both all have 2. Does that make sense? So you can take out 2x. If you factor out 2x, think about 2x times what equal to 10x to the cube? 5x squared plus what? 2x minus 3. So then I can use a box method now. You guys did that? So that's going to be 5x and x. And this is a 1 and 3, right? 5x and 3x, which one need to be negative? 3, right? So it'll be 2x times 5x minus 3 times x plus 1. And that's a factor.
Five x y minus b will be minus 3. Yeah, like
Can you say that again? Sorry, I was yawning.
you have to change push the top for 1 and 2.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, he's right. This is 3 and no. Wait, hold on a second. No, I was right. No, I was right. This is a 5x. This is a negative 3. Yeah, that's right. It's 2x. We not multiply together. We pair diagonal. We pair this way. We pair this way. No, I did it right.
No, I'm.
What?
There's like a thousand questions. Is there like corrections or retakes on your test?
No, I don't believe in retake, but I believe in different things. So, but we'll talk about it when we get there. If you do your homework, then okay, to get an A, very difficult.
Okay.
You have to earn it outright without any assistance.
Okay.
Getting a B somewhat easy because so average 34 people class, probably 6 people will have A. Probably like another 5 to 10 people will have B. And rest of them, if you're doing all your work, then you are minimum have a C if you're doing all your homework. Right? So we're not gonna fail you if you do all your homework. We're gonna make sure that you maintain certain grade. I'll give you something help for you to maintain grade. Now, if you worry about getting a C, yeah, it's not gonna be easy to earn A's and B. But I think if you're doing all your work and if you're really smart, you keep it on the test, you should be fine. So it really depends. You have to be confident about yourself.
I need to get that statement. Like I can do good on assignments, but not on tests.
It's okay. I think everybody can try. Ava's not good at testing, but he's here.
Yeah. I'm still in class, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
No, you can.
Are there any other tutoring times that are 5%?
Oh, do you struggling with this?
Yeah.
You can stay here if you want.
Well, no, I can't because I have 2 class.
Oh, that's a problem, is it?
So just like
Okay, let me write it down for you. www.youtube.com and it's DJYUF.
why you at?
When are grades gonna get put in?
Huh?
When are grades gonna get put in? Just
We
curious.
don't have any tests yet. We have tests this week.
Oh.
So we have tests this Friday. I'll put
Friday.
a homework grade. Right now, everybody have 100. So
Yeah, okay.
because if you did your homework, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I do.
What's up, Wim? Yeah, I know, and
Mr. Gabe, let's see how many students. One,
nice.
2, 3,
That's a lot.
4.
You don't need that much.
These are printed from my house. 6. And then the other stuff I have.
Okay. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. You're on the bottom pile, I think.
Bottom pile?
Do you see that? Is that right or no? Do you see BC test there?
Yeah, they're BC tests.
It's not trig, right? It's algebra, right?
It's algebra, yeah.
I'm gonna do it better. I'm gonna be like this. Huh? And also evaluation. I don't know if you got it. Let me see. Give me a second.
I know. So,
I have a question. You went over this problem in class, and I wrote down from
Okay, so we'll do it with you.
you start over.
Okay, that's okay. So when you have a 2x, this is called multiple angle. Usually it's like 10 of x. That's a lot easier. But with 10 to 2x, that you basically figure out what 10 is equal to this. 10 is equal to this at pi with 6. If you remember that this part is going to be pi with 6, pi with 4, and then pi with 2. Tangent of pi with 6 is going to be root 3 over 3. And this is root 3. Yeah. So when they equal to negative that, so it's going to be right here. So that's going to give you this or the other side. Though. It could be here or here because we are not inversing. So that's going to give you a 11 pi with 6. And yeah, pi with 6. You're really good. So this is 2x, however. 2x. Now, what happened is tangent has a period of pi rather than 2 pi. I don't know if you learned this before. So it's going to be plus n pi. Plus n pi. Because 2x usually have 4 n's. So you only get 2. You didn't get the other 2. So it's going to be x equal to 11 pi over 12 plus m pi over 2 because we divide by everything by 2. This side is going to be 5 pi over 12 plus n pi over 2. Now, n equal to 0, then it's going to give you the first two, 11 pi over 12 and 5 pi over 12. Because you got to divide by 2 on both sides, right? 5 pi over 12. Now, if n equal to 1, then it's going to give you x equal to 11 pi over 12 plus 5 over 12, 2. So that's 6, I think, 6, so that's 7, I think, pi over 12. And this one is going to be 17 pi over 12. So that's n equal to 1. Now you're going to do n equal to 2, but n equal to 2 is going to be over 2 pi, so it's not between 0 and 2 pi. So yeah, answer 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, period for sine is different. Period sine is 2m pi. Yeah, 2m pi. This one's m pi.
Okay, got it.
So this one's a harder question, but usually people is going to mess up with this.
Thank you.
Mr. Ed,
And this one.
What's up?
no, radical 3 over 3. Where's that on the end of the book? Is that above radical 3 over 2?
Radical 3 over 3 is tangent. It's a tangent value, so it's not in the unit circle.
Then how do I know what it is? The inverse tangent or the inverse radical 3 over 3?
You have to know that.
It's the triangles.
Yeah, hold on. You have to know that certain things. So, for example, you have to know that tangent of pi over 4 is equal to sine of pi over 4 over cosine of pi over 4. That's equal to 1. Hold on a second. Tangent of pi over 6 is going to be sine of pi over 6 over cosine of pi over 6. That's going to equal to root 3 over 3. So this is where the root 3 over 3 come from. And the tangent of pi over 3, that's equal to root 3. So for me, I just asked you to memorize those 3 places. Yes.
Needed today.
She needs tutoring. She needs luck.
She needs help.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
Are these worth 2 points each?
Okay.
Yeah, but you only get 1 point here. And
Oh, okay. 1 point, 1 point.
No, 2 point each. Every question is 2 points. So this is, I think that's right, right?
Yeah, I evaluated. These are correct. It's just
So
in a
this is
different
two
way.
check. This is not finished because you're not supposed to have fraction over a fraction.
Oh, okay. So that's an X.
You get first check, but not second.
Okay.
So do you want to say lineup? No.
Yes. So I maybe you have misunderstood, but I'm gonna say this though, because some seniors they want to official positions, and I know you're gonna put in a lot of work, but I kind of want to help them to get the certain status, like part. So, like, I will say let those people to run for the major position, like president, vice president, and the other people, like for you, and I will move you up when you got junior and senior, because that would be better for them because they need a resume. You don't need it yet. Is that okay with you?
So maybe it's one.
Yes, and you know, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people will be interested in that.
I can bring you one.
I trust you. Trust you. Okay, I trust you. You do your thing, and you go do your thing. If you need other people to help you, let me know. Who do you need to help?
So I can yeah, I already have. I setting up from the people that you setting up
Okay, then I'll send a message.
is it sounds right? We haven't they made new rules for coaching. Now it has to be like one.
Yeah, probably. I mean, sometime next week. I think this week's still hectic, but sometime next week. You set a date, and I'll trust you.
Okay, awesome.
And you're gonna be working with Anthony and the Anthony and what's his name? Veda. You know Veda?
Yeah.
Veda, Anthony, and Vincent, and Jordan. They are interesting running positions. So, but you, I can promise you for the next year, junior year, and senior year.
Just, I haven't put this on yet, so the sound is, I put in competitions, and then I put that, and then I put, you can get a double on, and then I put tutor, I put volunteer hours, like from tutoring, right, because you do sign on to that. I put SAT prep, and then
SAT prep, I think I want to do it this year. Good. I wanna have somebody to run it.
okay.
I don't want to just focus on math competition. I want to help people like get a scholarship.
That's why I didn't put it as a North portion, but I put it as an
Yeah, and I love like what you're doing is what a president should be doing. But
Yeah.
I just want to have a resume for them. But what you're doing is great. I cannot. I think the things about you is you are a true leader, so you understand how leader works. You're just taking charge. Nobody's asking you to do that, which is usually that's really hard to come by, and I kind of need those people. So I'm gonna rely on you to do a lot of decisions. But first,
Official title, excellent.
but your next title next year, junior and senior year, then that's fine. Is that okay with you?
The president will like run the things, I guess, and then there's vice.
Yeah, but I don't think they are as efficient as you. That's the thing. So you're gonna have to
I
help
can
out.
be like spokesperson if you want me to do that. And
That's
then it'll
fine.
be like I do community events,
That's fine.
and then they can.
Yeah, because not a lot of people have organization skill. I don't. And but you probably do better than Veda and Anthony. Anthony's really good at math.
I've heard.
Yeah, Anthony is amazing at math. But for his leadership skill, it's missing.
Oh.
Veda is probably doesn't have too much of leadership skill yet. But they are needed to some titles of them to get in. It'll be easier for them to like apply for college. And you will be like, if you're new senior year, you can run the whole thing. You can be a president. You can do everything. Take care of it.
Okay, so I need something.
Okay, I'll send it out.
Thank you.
Any question, ask this kid.
Yes.
He's a AB calculus tutor.
Jordan never asks. Tell her no. She's literally telling people I'm her assistant.
Jordan's ups.
Yes.
Wait, open house is this Wednesday? Next Wednesday. This Wednesday or next Wednesday? Open house? Huh? If I see any of your parents, you fail.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna put on the group chat. If I see any of your parents, you fail automatically next test. You gonna send your parents here?
I definitely don't want to come, but I can't send them just to fail me.
This question, are the only answers pi over 6 and pi over 6?
To be technical, yes.
Okay, that's
Because, but if you get the other answer, I'm okay with it. Because when you plug in pi equal to 1 over sine of x, that's where we get 1 over 0. Like imagine that if I plug in this pi into here, it's 1 over sine pi. 1 over sine pi is 1 over 0. So it's actually close to pi. So that's why this answer I excluded.
Thank you.
Alright.
Oh,
Okay, let me see. What is that negative 6?
it's a negative 5.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Alright, so. Well.
Yeah. So negative 5 or 6 is
Okay, so I can say 11, 5, 6, right?
yeah.
I like that. That's square root 5. -2 over root 5. -2 over root 5 rationalized.
Oh, cosine of that.
Pretty good.
I was gonna make sure I'm getting these separate problems.
They're not easy, they're hard. But with people like you or like those of you guys sophomore that's taking this class, that it should be pretty easy.
So, another power and then the reference angle 3 5.
Oh, I
And then so this close to where you change top and move it up here. And then it'd be negative.
No, the answer's not negative.
How do I know when the answer is negative?
Okay, the answer basically, the way they calculate it goes this on the x-axis. Okay. So what happened is, if this is 3 5 8, you know cosine of 11 5 8 is negative. So negative value has to be on this side, not this side, right? So it has to be here. So, but you know this reference angle is 3 5 8 right here. But the way they calculate it goes from here to here. So it's going to be 5 5 8. That's just 5 5 8. It's not negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's basically that same value, same location, can give you the same x value, but it's on the second plot. What's up?
I just want to make sure that I have the correct amount of points. There were like, is this one 2 points?
That's the only one.
That one's
So
only
that's
one.
really bad. Who did this?
This is Bellis.
Okay, that's really bad.
But
okay.
that only has one check for us, right? Okay. I want to make sure of that, and then this is only one, right? Okay. Other than that, everything looks like correct and great, right? So I can tally it up.
Yep.
And if I'm trying to find cosine of this.
Yeah, they just can't fly. They're just gonna be negative.
Oh. Freaked out for a second.
That only works when what are you doing?
It's the mouse stay inside the iPad, so you have to move really fast in order to get out of the iPad.
Oh.
So this is based on.
So I'm not crazy.